The Biden administration is planning to end the COVID public health emergency on May 11th. That marks a shift away from responding to the pandemic as a national crisis and instead managing the virus more like a seasonal respiratory disease. The public health and national emergencies have enabled hospitals to respond more flexibly when faced with spikes in patient volume. It has also effectively barred states from withdrawing people from Medicaid. And that is just the beginning of it. This has been a huge issue when it comes to not being able to kick people out of their homes or their apartments if they haven't paid the rent or the mortgage. It comes to student loans that have been extended time and time again, based on the idea that we are still in a national emergency.
We are still in a national emergency. And you know what? The people who are privileged and live inside the bubble, who are not there on the streets talking to people in hoods where they misunderstood, rural hoods, urban hoods, and suburban hoods, they got the luxury to say, oh, I'm just gonna pick a timeline and declare stuff over. Now, it is clear that COVID is going to be with us for the foreseeable future, just like the flu. But COVID is not over, and certainly the impact of COVID is not over. My grandmother used to say it's easier to jump into the hole than it is to get out. And so all the people who are suffering because of the impacts of COVID, their lives are not better overnight, over several months, or even several years. And when you couple that with inflation, with the cost of food, hell, eggs cost more than buying the chicken wing itself. What the hell, David? I don't understand why this president is doing this. And in the video that we watched, we see how that journalist, the reporter rather, she laid out all of the protections that came because of our national response to COVID, and all of that's gonna go away.
Yeah, that's the key here. I mean, first of all, the idea that we can pick a date in the future, May 11th, and know that we're not going to have a spike in cases or some sort of epidemic that is beyond what should be in place for the national emergency to be closed. That seems fanciful to me. The second thing is now the administration has said that the student loan pause will not go away. That is a separate order. That's going to continue until the Supreme Court adjudicates this case where they're trying to block the debt cancellation that has been put in place. However, it's on Medicaid that actually is the real danger here. Because of the national emergency, there was this restriction on states from dropping folks from the Medicaid rolls. And if that rolls off, there is a real concern that states are going to take action, particularly conservative states, going to take action to basically flush out their Medicaid rolls and put thousands of people in a position of not having health care. That's the real danger here.
It is. This is serious business. Again, we are the only industrialized nation on the face of the earth that does not have some type of universal health care. And to catapult, to push people off of Medicaid like that. And that further exacerbates any type of disease we're trying to tame. So whether it's COVID, the flu, the fact that people can't get preventative health care, it puts us all in danger. This stuff is madness. It really is. Now, lawmakers have refused for months to fulfill the Biden administration's request for billions more dollars to extend free COVID vaccinations and testing. And the $1.7 trillion spending package passed last year and signed into law by Biden, put an end to a rule that barred states from kicking people off Medicaid, which David and I just discussed, and a move that is expected to see millions of people lose their coverage after April the 1st. This is absolutely inhumane. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, companies like Pfizer, record-shattering, put up that headline so our family and friends and frenemies can see it or hear it if they're only listening. Pfizer's record-shattering $100 billion in revenue denounced as sickening. It is sick and it's immoral. Put simply, Pfizer has plundered health systems for profit, said the People Vaccine Alliance. And you know what? The federal government can do something about this. This does not have to be this way. America, this does not have to be this way. Put up what my stunt double had to say about Pfizer. Pfizer is raising the cost of the taxpayer-funded COVID vaccine from $19.50 to $130. We paid for that research. What in the unholy hell? And ending the COVID-19 emergency is pro-big pharma. Point blank, period. And check out this tweet from Matthew Cortland, a lawyer and a writer. This is what he tweeted. The end of the COVID public health emergency is the kind of news that breaks through to decision makers in HR and disability services offices. It's going to be even harder now for chronically ill and immunocompromised Americans. They're going to tell us it's over. It isn't. Let me just break this down and dress this up for you real simple. People are going to die. That's it. And the fact that we are dealing with policymakers who really don't get this or care, and even a president that could do this differently, something is wrong, America. And we can't just sit back and take this. And we giving you this information, but this is inhumane. All right, we need universal health care in America. So now we ain't got to deal with whether or not a governor gives a care about the people in their state or not. This should not be. This right here, now can we just all agree this should not be happening in America? But folks, welcome to America.